he knows he's the mermaid.
So mermaids are real?
Yes.
I know why people are not going to the movie theaters anymore. I figured it out.
Why?
It's not the movies.
There's a group called the Illuminati. Who are the Illuminati? Make a long story short, they're the 13 families that control the resources and the entire planet.
Hey, Segovia, back with another one. Hope everyone out there is having a good day. Y'all make sure you guys watch from start to finish. As you guys know, that really helps the channel grow. But with that being said, let's do what we all came here for. Let's get into it.
When everybody said, oh, my record label's controlling me and I can't get out of this deal and y'all need to let me go. Bro, the record label's sitting back like, we're controlling you because we gave you $10 million. And you think you're going, wait a minute. You think you're about to do whatever you want to do with our money? And then you think you're about to get out of your deal scot-free without paying us back our money? You didn't do anything. Your shit flopped. The $10 million we gave you was for you to make a dope project that wasn't going to flop. You already broke your fucking contract. So now you think we're going to let you go away and just get out of this deal while still owing us money? No.
It really baffles me that people still sign with these record labels. I mean, I think the people just are addicted to having the fame more than the money.
If you go to China, they're piloting it a few years ago in Shenzhen. So I lived overseas. If you go to Shenzhen, back in 2017, they already had facial recognition cameras there. So if you jaywalked in Shenzhen, they would immediately detect that and send you a notification, and they would deduct money from your what they call WeChat account. They use two main apps, WeChat and Alipay. So you can actually deduct your money directly from your account. This is 4 years ago, so this is not like some sort of conspiracy theory. It's not something that's going to happen 10 years into the future. This happened in China. And so this system in China that exists is extremely advanced. They can detect if it's a man or a woman. They can guess your age. They can detect what kind of car model it is, who the manufacturer is. This is a sort of technology that we see in all these dystopian sort of films and whatever. And people keep putting it off and thinking that this is something that's going to happen later in my kid's lifetime or my grandkids. It's already here. And if this gets implemented anywhere, especially in a Western nation, it's not going away.
Listen, you know money is fake. When you go to the airport, the same bottle of water that costs $1 now costs 10. Right? If you live in a community where I live at, everybody see this big ass house. Like, you live in a mansion. I know your light bill high as a motherfucker. I said, no, the light bill out here where we live at is automatically cheaper than the hood. Right? I got a big ass motherfucking house, huge mansion, gang. Light bill $89 a month.
Come on. I don't know how that works.
No, I'm keeping it real.
You got some,
it works.
You got some solar panels?
This is how it works when you're rich, right? When you poor, it works another way, right? So in the neighborhood, in poor, they got light bills, $300, $400, up to $1,000 a month to run a smaller house. But why is that? And listen, you can check this, right? This is true.
Nah, for real. I know some people that pay for power by the minute. Like, I'm gonna use 2 hours today. I'm like, damn, you paying for that's expensive as hell.
They do that. And listen, and this is how it works. Because the richer you are, the less you pay. Right? Because rich is never determined by money. It's when you understand that you cannot survive if you have a cost of living.
There's a group called the Illuminati. Who are the Illuminati? Make a long story short, they're the 13 families that control the resources and the entire planet. And they have their ancestry goes all the way back to Sumerian times. And where they changed into the Babylonians, they became the Khazars. They entered into Europe where they merged with the Celtic remnants or the Atlantean refugees, which became the Merovingians. And then that, over the centuries, broke into 13 distinct families that controlled Europe at the time and then now the entire planet. And are there names for these families? Yes, you have the Windsors, the Rothschilds, the Romanovs, the Sinclairs. There's a very wide range of Illuminati, but even more so is the range underneath the 13, which is the Committee of 300, which are 300 families that work very closely in association with the Illuminati to accomplish the goals. You mentioned that in your book that another way of describing the Illuminati is the New World Order.
God runs the world. Then under that, you got 1,000-year-old families with each other. Under that, you have the Vatican, the Pope. Under that, you have the financial groups that control all your shit. BlackRock, Vanguard. After that, you have Putin. You have Trump. You have all this shit. And after that, you got what all this shit is. Entertainment. Hollywood.
One of the craziest things you've probably never heard about is the fact that the United States government, through Lockheed Martin, which is a defense contractor, literally sent an entire airplane full of passengers into a wormhole, which God knows where they came out on the other side. They're probably dead. Now, the reason I believe this was Lockheed Martin is because UFOs will hover over nuclear test sites and turn the Army shit off. They do a bunch of stuff that is counterintuitive to wanting to destroy us. So it doesn't make sense that they would just send a flight full of passengers into the middle of nowhere, into God knows where, in the middle of space, who knows. It makes more sense that the government would have authorized the use of this technology in order to find out if it actually works. And we know that Lockheed Martin has these sort of egg-shaped crafts, which is what you see in this video. You see these three egg-shaped crafts hover around this plane and completely dematerialize it. And that footage is completely real. We have no idea where any of those 300 passengers went. We have no idea what happened to the majority of the plane. They say, oh, there's a little wing in the middle of they found a wing in the middle of the ocean. They didn't find anything else, and it was barely enough to even call it that. And before you start calling me names, just take a look at the footage, and it's completely indescribable. You can't describe that with normal words. You can only say that's some sort of advanced technology that the government has, or some sort of advanced technology that the extraterrestrials have. And I have no reason to believe they're any worse than our government. So
this guy on Twitter said that there's no evidence showing that reincarnation is linear, and that if it's real, your next life could be thousands of years ago. And this also means that you could be reborn in the future as well. This has been messing with my mind all week. The concept of dying is weird enough. The idea of being born in Egypt or ancient Rome or as a caveman is really tripping me out. Or in like a far distant future where there's like barely any humans left on another planet also trips me out. But I'm gonna ask you guys this, would you want to be reincarnated? And if so, what would you want to be reincarnated as a human or an animal? And what time period would you want to be reincarnated?
Why do you think they shut down CERN, James? They were getting too close.
I did hear about that. I heard that everyone's lives are going to improve because they shut it down.
I heard it was shutting down. I didn't even look into what their reasoning was or anything.
Yeah.
No more dead gorillas.
Yeah, I say I heard is a reel that I scrolled past on Instagram.
Mm-hmm. No more time slips, world ending in 2012. You heard that one, James? That
I heard something about that.
So they claim that the Mayan calendar, Nostradamus, end of the world 2012 crap. That's the same time CERN found the Higgs boson. And there's a theory that when they found that, it destroyed everything. And we reset in a simulation. And we live in a simulation, and everything actually did end in 2012. And that's where there's a lot of Mandela effect stuff post 2012.
Yeah.
Since this whole CERN shutdown thing, a lot of the Mandela effects have came back to light. On my second channel, we did a whole video just on Mandela effects. Make sure you guys go check that out.
I have a theory that the Mandela effect is used to see how much of history can be altered in front of our eyes. Here's a prime example of one of that. There's this woman on TikTok who was going crazy because she swore the Fruit of the Loom had a cornucopia logo. And to the point that even Fruit of the Loom themselves put a timeline of all their logos and it never had a cornucopia. And this woman went hard. Her therapist told her, yo, you need to chill out. You need to just drop this. So she went through all of her old clothing, and lo and behold, she found a shirt with the Fruit of the Loom with the cornucopia logo on it. That shows me, like, yo, I think the Mandela effect is an operation that's running around right now to see how much of history can be altered right in front of our eyes without us noticing. And then they gaslight the public and be like, nope, this never happened.
Damn, I didn't think about it like that.
Yeah, bro. People are thinking about it very little. Like, oh, it's the Berenstain Bears or the Berenstein Bears or Jiffy or Jif's peanut butter. No, it's much larger than that, guys. They're using this to see, oh, if we can get people to forget certain primary things about their childhood, what can we do with history?
The prostitution in Vegas is just off the meter. Because a lot of people think that it's legal in Vegas. It's not legal in Vegas. It's legal a little bit north in Nye County. You can go to there's a chicken ranch and there's other places that people can go. But in Vegas, it's illegal. It's a misdemeanor, but it's still illegal. But inside the clubs, inside the casinos, I mean, there's tons of girls who are working, and most of them, not most of them, a lot of them work for pimps.
Oh, they do?
A lot of them do.
What's that kind of connection? Would you see that sometimes? Like, does the pimp come and drop them off? Does the pimp put them, does he like Uber pool them or whatever? Like, how do they get the women down to the strip or whatever? Is the pimp down there?
So there's a thing. Well, pimps a lot of times, from a pimp perspective, they have a stable of women, and they'll go from place to place to place. Like they'll go to Miami and bring their girls to Miami to work. They'll bring their girls to New York or Vegas or whatever. And and these girls are called, I don't know the terminology, but they call it carpet holes, or holes that actually work inside of casinos, and they'll walk inside the casino on the carpet, and they'll go make the money, come back, and give it to the pimp. Then you have the lower level prostitutes, which are the ones that work the tracks. And a track is a place where it's known for prostitution, and Vegas and every other major city has tracks. And lower level pimps will drop their girls off on the tracks and then they'll walk the track.
I believe public drinking in Vegas is still illegal, but same thing with prostitution. It's like there's just too much people doing it that they can't enforce the law.
There's a lot of talk today, fear about sea level rise. Well, sea level going to rise another foot in the next century? What we now know is the sea level at the end of the last ice age was over 400 feet.
400.
Now, I want you guys to do a thought exercise here, and anybody listening, do a thought exercise. You're standing on the seashore. You know, let's say if you're standing anywhere like overlooking at the Atlantic Ocean, or I'm down in Georgia standing there. Now, what happens if sea level starts going down and it goes down 400 feet? Does it go down 400 feet and you're still going to be standing on the beach?
This is why a lot of people are not manifesting what they want, because you don't understand how the universe works, okay? You don't chase your dreams. You attract your dreams. You don't chase a person. You attract a person. You don't catch a fish. You attract a fish. Nobody goes fishing and motherfucking chases the fish. You make the fish come to you. Okay? So this is how the universe works. You don't make your dreams and goals something that you chase. You prepare yourself to attract that to you. Okay? The motherfucking, nobody goes looking for the NFL. The NFL goes looking for the best player. All you got to do is prepare yourself to make sure the NFL is ready to see you. Nobody goes looking for boxing. Nobody calls HBO and says, hey, HBO, I'm a good ass boxer and you need to come look at me in my gym. No, you knock motherfuckers out. Prepare yourself to be one of the best boxers in this decade, and HBO gonna call you. And so that being said, this is the way the universe works. And so people not manifesting their dreams because for one, psychologically, you chasing something when you don't realize that science is not to chase, that science is to attract. A lot of people can't find the ideal partner because they chasing and looking for some shit when all you gotta do is become the type of person that you see in that type of relationship, and you'll attract the type of person that see themselves in that type of relationship. So it's the universe is on the law of attraction. It's reactionary. It's not action.
You really can manifest things. I remember when I was dead broke, I probably didn't even have a job. I watched The Secret. My therapist said, watch the movie The Secret. And one thing that I remember, they said, when you wake up in the morning, put like $1 bill, but put how much money you want right on there. So the first thing you see every morning is your goal, right? Now, my goal was 100,000. At that time, I couldn't even think of how the heck am I going to make 100,000? And guess what today, y'all? I'm not one to brag or anything. I don't like that, but it came true. You really can manifest these things. You got to change the mindset.
Clips are going viral all over social media. Before the Egypt and Argentina game, they were only patting down people wearing Egypt jerseys. These ladies were about to walk in. Security grabs them and pulls them to the side. And you can see all these people with Argentina jerseys behind them, continues to just let them in. And then you can see they will begin to pat them down. And before you comment, I'm going to show you another clip. Just relax. They literally asked the security guard, are you only patting down Egypt? And just listen to what she says.
You guys only pat down Egypt? Yeah. Why? That's messed up. That's messed up.
You can see this girl is asking, are you with Egypt? She waves no, so she lets her in, and then this guy asks the question.
You guys only pat down Egypt?
Yeah. Next girl comes in, are you with Egypt? She's obviously wearing the jersey, and then she starts to pat her down.
That's messed up. That's messed up.
Regardless of what you think of the game, you have to admit that this is pretty crazy. I did have a friend go to the game. He did walk in with a massive group of Egyptians, so he did get pat down and didn't see anyone with an Argentina jersey, but I'm not sure what else you need to see at this point.
Remember a long time ago, we talked about that guy that saw a giant in Alberta?
Dawson?
Andrew Dawson.
Yeah.
Right? And that was one of our most viral clips of all time.
What happened now with him?
So he died. He died. He's actually dead. What's crazy, today, James Franco, that was in Spider-Man. Today, James Franco has been posting Andrew Dawson type videos of him saying something's wrong.
No.
That people are after him.
Yeah.
And he's drawing his username, James Franco, with a number beside it, James Franco 2319. 2319 is a code in Monsters Inc. Remember when a monster accidentally touches a child?
Yeah.
And then they come back into their area and like, oh, we got a code 2319. Sure, they gotta decontaminate him, shave all his hair, everything, right?
Okay.
So people are saying that he's trying to expose something that has to do with monsters and kids. Oh. Why is this relevant? Why? The island. Actors. Actors that know different things that's going on with kids.
I did believe that the election was stolen. I believe that the riots were actually, those were patriots. Until I actually switched off Fox News and started getting my news from other places, my information, that's when it finally hit.
Diversifying their news turned out to be a common factor in leaving MAGA.
I met my now husband in 2021, and they made me watch a documentary on January 6th, and I didn't even know what happened on January 6th prior to the PBS documentary. And I looked at him and I said, Scott, did that really happen? And he was like, where have you been?
It's not easy to believe something firmly and then come to the conclusion that you've been wrong for many years. Was that hard for you?
Yes, yeah. That was something that I just couldn't square because I couldn't be wrong.
Так это наш новый образец. Он сейчас неактивный же, да? Цепи выдержат, если что. Ну и махину вы сделали, Сергей Павлович. В рамках исследования спорового синдрома был разработан препарат, способный предотвратить физиологические изменения организма и последующий распад личности. У большинства испытуемых вещество вызывало устойчивый эффект. Однако у небольшой группы пациентов препарат не усваивался полностью и требовал непрерывной подачи. Для данного экземпляра инженерами НИИ был создан герметичный защитный костюм со съемными ингаляционными капсулами, обеспечивающими постоянное поступление вещества. Это позволило пациенту сохранить жизнеспособность. А также он выразил желание вернуться к трудовой деятельности.
What would be your conclusion of afterlife?
Everybody, when we die, we lose a small amount of weight. Science can't account for it. It's not liquid. It's not gas. It just vanishes from our bodies. And if you're filming, you're going to see a light leave the body. We believe that's actual spiritual energy that has weight and mass. What happens is, from what we've been able to see, one spirit will start to move towards the light. Everybody talks about the light. They'll move towards the light. They'll go through the light. They'll move into the other side. They'll be able to come and go as they please. That's an intelligent spirit. The second spirit we deal with is an earthbound spirit. And what they'll do is the same energy will leave the body. It'll move towards the light, but it'll make the decision not to move into the light. It'll try to go back to the body, but the body's not receptive. You can't go back into something that's not alive. And they'll place themselves in what would be the middle ground, purgatory. It's like living a nightmare. They just go over everything that went wrong in their life. So when you talk to the intelligent spirit and you talk to the earthbound spirit, you say, earthbound spirit, why don't you just cross over? You know, and they say, no, fire and brimstone. You can't do that. I did too many things wrong in my life. I didn't live a good enough life. I can't possibly go through. If you talk to the intelligent spirit will tell you everybody ends up in the same fucking place. We all end up on the other side in the same place. The punishment is the middle ground.
You think you're watching TV, but your TV is actually watching you, if it is a new smart TV. And that's not figurative. I'm not saying like, in theory, like it's facing you. No, it is actually watching you. So you ever wonder how you can walk into a store now and a 4K OLED QLED television set is like $400 when they used to be in the thousands? Of course, some still are, but you can get a really nice TV very inexpensively these days. Why? Because the real money in television is the data that they sell, that they collect from you and then sell to other companies. That's where the value's at. So it's like when you buy a printer, printers are cheap. Printer ink is where they get you. It's called the razor and blades model. So smart TVs collect and monetize your viewing habits, app usage, and network data to generate revenue. Major manufacturers, Samsung, LG, Roku, use an engine called automatic content recognition to analyze exactly what you watch down to the second. This data is aggregated and sold to advertisers to target you. But that's not the crazy part. And you can turn it off, by the way. Can you? Officially you can, but I don't know if that's really doing much. And side note, anything with speakers essentially is a microphone. Look it up. A speaker can absolutely be used as a microphone. So in other words, everything you're saying around the TV, in theory, could also be completely listening to you. And we know that's why when you say, damn, I gotta get some cat food, then you go on your computer later or your phone or your TV and an ad pops up for cat food. So try and spend a bit less time watching TV, or do what I did where the TV is not connected to the Wi-Fi. It's HDMI cabled to the computer. So if I want to watch something on TV, I just put it on the computer, put the screen on, boom, bang, bang. So it's technically a dumb TV. I don't think it's being able to monitor or track me really. But let me know your thoughts in the comments below and follow for more.
There was never a time when TVs were cheap. It seems like it happened overnight. It went from $1,000 to it for a 70-inch TV to like $500 to it for a 70-inch TV overnight, y'all. From as long as I can remember, TVs, printers were never cheap. And like he said, it's for a reason. The money's not in the TV, it's in the data.
And then what did Neil say when he said they landed on the moon? What did he say when they landed?
He said he said we were shooed away from the moon.
And it rang like a bell.
He said when they landed, it rang like a bell. And he said they were shooed. Well, Buzz Aldrin said they were shooed away from the moon. He said when they landed, it rang like a bell for hours.
It means it's hollow.
Buddhist monks have a story from 12,000 years ago where there was no moon in the sky, and they described when it was brought here by a dragon.
Now, what does that sound like? I said the movies, right? So there's a little movie called Star Wars. In the movie Star Wars, what did they construct? The Death Star that looked like a moon. So could it be that they constructed a moon and brought it here from somewhere else?
Think about it. It's in a perfect place.
So hold on, because we talk about the firmament. We have 607 Unc on here. He mentioned the firmament. He also mentioned there's a wall in Alaska you can't get past. So if we are in a dome, then how is it that they can bring a moon or build a moon and put it up? Or is it just inside the dome with us?
Bingo.
Okay.
Popeye's chicken sandwich. Come to find out, they have over 40 ingredients in the Popeye's chicken sandwich. 32 of them were man-made chemicals. And I said, well, let's see what Chick-fil-A has. Over 50 chemicals in the chicken sandwich. Over 40 of them were man-made chemicals. I said, so hell, this is a dope sandwich. So they really are flipping birds over there. Because there's no way in the world to justify. So whenever I seen that, I said it in a message. And someone took the clip of it and then went on the website of Chick-fil-A, had it broke down where they were clicking on it, showing all of the ingredients and these chemicals that were in it. Do you know the next day Chick-fil-A took that down off their website? So now you can't find the ingredients to the Chick-fil-A sandwich or the Popeyes chicken sandwich because they don't want you to know that they're drugging you, they're doping you, that they have you wanting the food not for nutritional value, but because you become addicted by the MSG and the other chemicals that they've inserted in that also.
It really is ridiculous for a chicken sandwich that should just be like what, flour, maybe some batter and chicken and some spices. There should not be 50 ingredients in a chicken sandwich. I forgot how many he said were man-made. All those man-made ingredients are addictive. Are addictive, so you keep coming back. So when you're done eating it, you say you'll never eat this again. And then the next day, you find yourself back in that drive-thru. That's just like drugs and alcohol, y'all.
This was valid in 2001 and it's valid now. If you see an interview and it's pushing propaganda, the interviewee is likely not a random person.
Well, big catastrophe, and I'm Israeli, and I hope that now people understand what we have to deal with, the kind of people that we're dealing with on a day-to-day basis. It's just that's
The smiling Israeli woman 9/11 interview. You can find it if you look it up on Google. It's been viral for years because everyone's been wondering, why is she smiling? The difference between now and 2001 is that we have AI facial analysis, so we can figure out who she is. Maybe that will lead us to why she's smiling. I took a screenshot of that video, plugged her face into my facial analysis AI, immediately found out who she was. It was not hard. Her name is Tazammer at first. Anyway, she is connected to Bill Gates. He did fund her temporary circumcision product that she made tens of millions off of. This woman speaks at APAC. She is very prominent, Israeli, very powerful. But we need to remember that we can still use these tools to go back into the past, go find out who other people were, what are they doing now, what are they involved in now.
I mean, what are the chances that this lady that got interviewed on 9/11 has ties to Bill Gates, y'all? The more and more I see these things, the more and more like this disclosure day, they're all in the club. Everybody we see on social media, on the news, even the small newscasts. Like I was watching a clip of my crush in El Paso, Miss Sarah Courier, right? A weather girl. I saw on a Facebook clip that she was on the Wheel of Fortune, right? Now, like to me, like what are the chances this little El Paso lady was on the Wheel of Fortune? Now, it doesn't seem that far fetched, but I've seen an interview with Daz Dillinger on Vlad. Like, I thought he grew up being the poorest, the ghettoest, the most gang banging dude that he raps like. His mom was a singer, a teacher, and she taught, I think, Janet Jackson singing lessons, and he used to hang out at the Jackson's house. Like, they're all connected, y'all. They're all in the club, and we're not in it.
Nah, this is about to get crazy. You guys remember how there used to be asylums like for crazy people back in the days? Check this out.
What if the insane asylums from the 1800s weren't built for insane people at all? Think about it. People always say, if there was a reset, wouldn't everyone have known? But what if the people who did know were labeled insane? In the 1800s, all across America and Canada, massive insane asylums started appearing. Huge buildings, massive stone structures, some of the biggest buildings in the entire country at the time. But here's the strange part. Many of these cities were just being founded. So where did all of these insane people come from? And how did they know there would be so many of them that they built entire castle-like complexes to hold them? Look at the Central Lunatic Asylum in Ohio. It looks more like a fortress than a hospital. Look at the Columbia State Hospital. At one point, it was the largest building in the United States. And then there's St. Vincent Hospital in St. Louis. They say it was built in 1 year. 1 year in the 1800s. With that architecture. So you have to ask yourself, were these buildings really made to treat the insane? Or were they made to silence people who remembered a world that no longer existed?
What if the people who they considered crazy were never crazy at all? And that's why they stopped building these asylums, because now everybody's already brainwashed. It's like these people were probably never crazy to begin with. They were just exposing the truth, and that's why they kept building these massive asylums in the 1800s. They didn't want the truth getting out. And then once the truth got out and everybody that actually knew the truth was dead by getting old, that's when they stopped building these asylums. What the fuck, bro?
There was a former Bush official that worked in the housing department. He came out and disclosed that there's $21 trillion missing in the government. And she said that there is essentially a black budget, which is off the books, to where they built underground civilizations, not only on land, but in the water and around the circumference of America. Now they have massive civilizations, but I do find it funny too that a lot of billionaires are spending billions of dollars for bunkers themselves. Zuckerberg, Bezos, you name it, they all have it. And that's what we know of. So imagine what we don't know, what's off the books, right?
That's a lot of money.
That we pay for. That's taxpayers' money, by the way. And then they already have these types of systems that's across America with the trucking system too. You have truckers showing footage where they drive into a mountain. It opens up and it just goes for miles and miles and miles. And that's just for the trucking industry. So what they don't show you, which they do have a black budget to where they fund many things that's off the books. They have probably a utopia down there when it comes to technology, you name it, that's for them.
Y'all, I 100% believe that they're using all our tax dollars for this underground bunker for them to last for the next civilization. I really starting to believe that, because where's all this tax money going? It's not only me that pays taxes. I don't know how many houses are in this neighborhood. 500 houses in this one neighborhood out here, and there's thousands of neighborhoods, hundreds and thousands of neighborhoods probably in the whole state of Arizona. Every single one of those people are paying taxes. Now, some do better than others. Some find loopholes. Some find this and that. But 99% of people are paying taxes. Where's all that money going? Streets look like crap. Public transportation's crap. Government at the post office is still working like they're in the 60s. Like all these government buildings, they're all Social Security. I used to get Social Security. You go to do Social Security, they're so outdated, still doing things by handwriting, right? They are so outdated. Where's all this money going? Where's all this government funding going? underground bunkers.
Yeah. I mean, that whole thing, man, like Abercrombie, it's like they're scouring the country for all these young kids. I mean, they don't do this anymore, but you know, they're going around the country, going into colleges and coffee shops and, you know, picking up these young kids young kids as in like, you know, they did Abercrombie kids, so they're anywhere, you know, 15 to 25, I guess. But they don't know anything about it, you know, and they got stars in their eyes, and it's like, get them down here, and they're shooting like 40, you know, guys at a time. Like, I believe they did it 4 times a year. And so you got to think that's, you know, at least that's like a couple hundred guys a year that they're shooting. It's like, what, you know, it's interesting. It's the only job that does it like that. You know, every other job, they do the casting and choose one person. No, Abercrombie, it's like they want to get as many guys as they can to this one spot, you know? And a lot of these kids, they don't know, you know, they don't know anything about modeling. Do this? Yeah. That's how I was. It's like,
they see it as a great opportunity.
Yeah.
You go to the hospital and you're dehydrated. What do? They stick an IV in your arm and give you saline. Well, what's saline? Salt water. So why would they stick salt water in my veins if I'm dehydrated? They're trying to hydrate me. Every time someone goes into the hospital in an emergency situation, the first thing they do is start an IV of what? Saline? Why are they putting salt water in my veins? Because they're trying to help me. They're trying to save my life. They're trying to revive me. You know what I mean? So once I realized that, it's like, wait a minute, that's salt. So why are they telling me to stay away from salt? Well, if you have a heart attack, they're going to give you 2 bags. They're going to give you 1,200 milligrams of salt. They're going to immediately inject you with 1,200 milligrams of salt, 2 bags of water, because they know no matter what's wrong with you, and like you said, no, if you go to the hospital for any reason, the first thing they do is they put that salt water in you. So even science knows, listen, whatever's wrong with somebody knows. Salt water is going to make them better. Let's do that.
The evil people in Hollywood. So in America anyway, that was the main fight. The actors, you know, are kind of a little whorish, and they'll do whatever, you know, to get a good role or something, so they don't hold you responsible somehow. They really look to the director and the studio.
Look guys, no introduction needed. We know who that is. We've seen his face. He's been in some of the biggest films. And look what he's just said about the industry. You think he's joking when he's saying things like that? Don't ever forget that they have to tell you these things because they believe in karmic retribution. So they've got to put it in your face. And anyway, they can put it in your face because it's not like anyone believes it anyway. Everyone's still going to go to the movies. Everyone's still going to stream these films. Everyone's still going to give these people attention. That's how it's always been. Bread in the circus, the oldest trick in the book. Wisen up.
Did you ever notice how the most diabolical villains in cartoons have always the same distinguishing features? And this is no accident. Trust me, is again our ancestors trying to warn us. Beware. My personal favorite, Gargamel. It's always like this. He has a long hooked nose, he loves gold, is very greedy, wants to ethnically cleanse the Smurfs. And the best detail, his cat's name is Israel. And these attempts to warn us come from a long time ago. Check out this Disney cartoon, the original version versus the edited version. Imagine the amount of backlash they got, and all these Jewish groups knocking on their door. Remove the stereotype. It's fucking hilarious, man. Again, we either take their warning or we ignore it and we're left to our own devices. We see that that's not really going too well.
Now what do we see?
This is Mr. Robinson coming up the stairs of the parking structure. Again, he seems to be having issues walking.
And again, were you able to track Mr. Robinson when he leaves this parking structure?
Yes, we were able to.
What is the most important thing for every government? Income. The moment certain countries were using the Chinese yuan to buy oil, now we're going after Iran. Now we're going after the Strait of Hormuz. Now Maduro. Let's talk about that. Maduro was protected by the Cubans. They're very good at what they do. They kept Castro alive. Maduro's personal guard was all Cubans. When special forces went and took Maduro, they had no casualties. And his personal guard all went home in small boxes.
They said they used weapons like never seen before.
And a weapon called the discombobulator.
And if you remember, Trump had won Maduro. However, he wasn't going to act until that day when the Chinese were there in the morning.
100%. They offered Maduro out.
Yeah, they were negotiating.
He called on China.
That evening,
China showed up.
That evening, guy was on a chopper.
Y'all got it. Think it's a game? Okay. What type of weapon can turn men into ash? If China had that, there would be no more America. They would already took Taiwan. These are the facts.
I like how you answer that. So you're saying for a fact, and this is not just because you have American blood running through your veins. You're saying that you believe wholeheartedly America still remains a superior
100%
military force.
100%.
And Trump put a compilation of Trump reminding the world, you got better weapons.
Listen, bro.
New weapons.
Yo, impersonation skills is up there.
If you search the internet long enough, you are bound to see some pretty sick shit. This is a series where we talk about some of the most disturbing videos that you can find on the internet. Tonight's video is the Twilight Zone movie incident video. These videos are for educational purposes only, and viewer discretion is advised. On July 23rd in 1982, during the filming of the Twilight Zone movie, specifically the segment called Time Out, a helicopter crashed during filming in Valencia, California at the Indian Dunes. The scene that took place involved actor Vic Morrow and two Vietnamese child actors. The scene was Morrow carrying these two kids through knee-high body of water, while soldiers were firing upon them, including the ones in the helicopter. However, due to an explosion that spun out the helicopter, including it flying too low, the helicopter spun and crashed into the body of water, ending the lives of Vic Morrow and the two Vietnamese child actors, as well as injuring the helicopter pilots. And the entire accident was caught on video. That, if I'm being honest, was way too damn easy to find. Now, of course, the question is, whose fault was it? Well, there was a 10-month trial, and a lot of people kinda got off on it. Most of the producers that were on trial, including the director John Landis, were actually acquitted of basically all the charges, including the manslaughter one. Now, a lot of the family sued and definitely won some money, but nobody was ever really sent to prison. And I find that insanely bizarre, especially when a lot of testimonies from people that were on set pretty much blame John Landis for everything. Mostly saying things like he wanted the helicopter lower even though it was getting a little bit too dangerously close to all the explosions in the set. However, this set incident sparked major changes across the entire board of filmmaking. In fact, it rocked the industry for a while. And rightfully so. Not only with safety on set, but also with child labor laws too. The entire thing was just an insane, absolute, catastrophic mess. The video itself is absolutely insane. I mean, knowing what is going to happen and actually seeing it in pretty clear quality too. The whole situation just fucked, man. But let me know in the comment section if you think there is another disturbing video that I absolutely need to cover.
Okay guys, pretty crazy news. Argentina's Football Association, the AFA, are under preliminary investigation by the FBI on suspicion of fraud and money laundering. Now this is according to a major newspaper in Argentina called La Nación, but of course, the timing of this just is absolutely horrific because although it's completely unrelated, this news is coming at the same time that the Argentina team are facing major controversy following their match against Egypt. So, what the hell is going on? Well, the matter is being looked into by the FBI, an American entity, because the company that manages the AFA's international commercial contracts is based in Florida. And investigators are essentially trying to trace how hundreds of millions of dollars, 260 reportedly, million moved through major US banks and whether any of it amounts to fraud or money laundering. Now, the Argentine Football Association has firmly denied any wrongdoing, calling this reporting biased and unsubstantiated. Currently, no formal case is being opened against them and no charges have been put forth. But of course, I'll keep you guys updated.
Y'all, I don't know what happened with that match. I know me and my lady went out to have lunch. We had our little date on Tuesdays. Our date day. We went to lunch. When I went to lunch, that game was 2-0 at like the 70-minute mark. I was telling my dad, because he doesn't really watch soccer. I don't really watch soccer until I started watching this World Cup, right? I was like, that's the equivalent of it being like 41-3 at the start of the fourth quarter. Like, it's ball game. I get to the restaurant. My lady says, Argentina won 3-2. I was like, no, there's no way. It was 2-0 when we left, and there was only like 20 minutes left. Something fishy happened there. It's annoying, but it's entertainment, right?
He knows he's the mermaid.
So mermaids are real?
Yes. I have had a vision where I was standing at a riverbank and I had a scroll and I gave it to a mermaid.
What did it look like?
Like a fish. And it was so crazy because your journey is an interpretation of what you dealt with in past lives. So eventually you're going to remember who people are. In living form, I knew who the mermaid was that I gave the scroll to. Me and him went to Rock Store at Lakeline Mall. He grabs a skull book and says, you need to write in this. And I looked at him. I said, so it is you. And he looked at me and he walked away. He knows he's the mermaid that I gave it to. And he comes back like clockwork every year.
You were released in a prisoner exchange under the Biden administration in exchange for the release of some women's basketball player on a marijuana charge. Were you surprised? It seemed asymmetrical.
Brittany Griner.
Yes.
This was literally some kind of insult, you know.
Right.
At least they could exchange. Well, Paul Whelan, which I was expecting.
Exactly.
So this is why. She was a black, she was a lesbian, and she was a basketball fan.
Only in America we want a basketball player and we'll give you an arms dealer, a dangerous man for this basketball player. Only for political gain, right? That's all he did it for. She's a woman of color. She's part of that club, the LGBT community. It's only right that this Joe Biden Democrat, let's release her. We need some good press. We need all that community to say he cares about us. That's all they did it for. They didn't do it for the betterment of the people, obviously, because they let an arms dealer go for in exchange.
You see, I told you. Eventually, this Vegas thing was going to be proven to be real. And everybody was like, no, it's bullshit. There's no such things as aliens. Nothing happened there. They're all fucking lying. Well, look. It's been authenticated by experts. You cannot deny this anymore. And for those of you that continue to say it's not real, it's not real, when are you going to accept the fact that even experts are saying that it's real? Like, there's no debate anymore. Now, what are they? Where are they from? Well, that's a question or a couple of questions that still remain unanswered. But the truth in all of this is that, yes, Vegas was freaking real. They weren't lying. They did see something out there. And from what they said, 10-foot fucking aliens, yeah, that looks like a fucking problem if you ask me. But hey, I just talk shit on TikTok, right? So today I woke up to a bunch of messages about our 2 astronauts who are stuck in space and still can't come down. We still can't rescue them. But they're wearing Christmas hats and smiling. And I remember that we went and fucking got them. Yeah. We went up, we got them, we brought them down. They had muscular atrophy. They were all fucked up. But now they're still up there. Am I going crazy? Because look, I know my videos are fucking outrageous and I lose my shit. That's intentional. That's my shtick. But right now, right fucking now, I'm experiencing a Mandela effect. Yep, a real one. Because I fucking know they came down.
You know what you're talking about. That's why we had you on. You know about ballistics. You shot bin Laden. What bothers you the most about this investigation?
Thanks for having me, Rob, and good to see you, General Holt.
You too.
A lot of things bother it bothers me about this. Nothing in particular, and it's not like I'm out there saying big lie or conspiracy or someone did it. I'm just saying I've been in a lot of shootings. I've killed more than a handful of people, and this thing looked shady off the bat. I mean, I've killed people closer than I saw the camera, and I've never seen a shirt move like that. That looks like an explosion to me. Just the fact that no one started doing first aid to Charlie Kirk, they were more concerned about getting SIM cards out of cameras, removing cameras, and then getting him off the X somehow. There didn't seem a lot of concern for his life. It seemed like just clean it up. And then, I mean, I've been told they paved it over a couple days later.
I know for a fact, I'm not going to say how, but I know for a fact that we were moving forces for a much bigger operation into the region, and that whole thing was stunted because partly of the way in which we could not penetrate into the Strait of Hormuz reliably. And if we couldn't even send a ship for like a freedom of navigation type operation, there was no way in hell the Emeralds were going to risk sending an entire amphibious lander full of Marines to land on Karg Island or to take Kashem or whatever insanity the Trump administration was spewing at that time. There is clearly a shakeup or a breakdown going on at the highest levels of our uniformed military command structure.
I bet there is.
There's a significant amount of uniformed military leaders who are saying this ain't working, we're not being heard, we're GTFOing out of here.
It's not uncommon for folks to drive up from the valley to the Tonto National Forest for a few days of camping. But the U.S. Forest Service says 65-year-old Mark Gatz told them he had been living in the forest near Pine and Strawberry for the past 8 years. They arrested Gatz at the end of June at an illegal campsite he created, saying despite fire restrictions, he had a hot wood-burning campfire. Records showed Gatz had multiple citations and 6 federal arrest warrants for similar problems. In those previous incidents, law enforcement with the U.S. Forest Service said they were flabbergasted by the amount of debris created by Gatz, calling it possibly one of the worst residential cases they had seen in the entire forest. They found Gatz had 1,000 pounds of trash at his campsite, including tires, plastic bags, aluminum cans, and more. Trash was scattered over approximately 1/2 acre on Forest Service land that was causing permanent damage to the national forest. The reports claim Gatz would build multiple fire pits. In some cases, officers would find those fires unattended, still hot with the possibility of creating forest fires.
8 years, y'all. 8 years living in the forest. You can't tell me he's the only one. We hear all these stories of people going missing. We hear all the Robert Fisher case. Right? Some people say he's still living out in the woods. Like, there's so much people that are out there living, and it's a different type of mindset for people, especially in like Arizona, maybe like out in Alaska, off grid, whatever. But this guy was just living off the land pretty much, off campfires and whatnot. That's pretty scary, y'all. That's pretty scary.
Are you guys ready to see how dark the industry really gets? And further, I'm going to prove to you in this video that Britney Spears actually has multiple personality disorder. And not just that, but that it's actually manifesting physically to show physical traits and not just other things. And there's also very weird occurrences in the industry with multiple personality disorder. So first, I want you to pay special attention to her voice and nothing else.
But they did my lips.
Am I the only person here who does not remember Britney Spears from the 2000s having a British or a kind of New England type accent? Well, guess what? Not just is it new, it's a few months new.
I guess I should just come get nails and do it. I swear to God. I don't.
So this video right here was just a few weeks or if not a few months difference, and you can already see a night and day difference. This is closer to her voice that we all knew to where right now it's all of a sudden New England. And this whole British or New England personality that she has, you can see the physical manifestation in her actual teeth. Now, this is actually a never-ending story. Every childhood star or teenage star, etc., they all go through something horrifying in the industry and randomly change. And I know you remember this video where Ariana Grande went to the Brighter Days clinic and had to get the classic memory erasure.
They did the Brighter Days memory erasure treatment to me.
It does seem like the industry can get very, very dark, but who really knows why? And I want to ask you, look at this picture right here. How many different personalities do you see? The eyes are the windows to the soul. And this right beside me appears to be a new tattoo that she got. I cannot confirm, but something is very off by this tattoo. I see the pattern of a snake, but also it looks like something not a tattoo.
There was a time that took place where the Italian government was trying to stop craft coming out of the ocean, destroying their aircraft and causing fires. Did you know about this?
I never heard about that, no.
So throughout this whole process, like if we see Ronald Reagan addressing the United Nations and saying, what if an alien threat was posed to humanity? Could it unite humanity? Why would he say something like that? What are the rumors about JFK's death and Marilyn Monroe?
The rumor about JFK is there was more than one shooter, and the rumor about Marilyn Monroe was something about the mob.
Right. So what happened was JFK confided to Marilyn Monroe about the UFO programs and interaction with non-human intelligences. Him and her fell out. She threatened to go public about it, and she was dead and he's dead.
You know how many people died in 3 Mile Island? None. Chernobyl, 27, something like that. Many in the explosion, some from thyroid disease years later. The area surrounding Chernobyl is called the exclusion zone. People are still forbidden from going there, except for the people who never left, who are now in their 90s. Google the exclusion zone Chernobyl, and you will find it to be one of the most biodiverse places on the planet. All we had to do is get all the people out, and everything grew back. There's more wildlife and natural fauna growing around Chernobyl than you can believe. The amount of fear that we have around nuclear is so completely baked into the fact that we used it as a weapon. What are you going to do? You can't put the poop back in the goose. It has to be nuclear.
Hey, Bujang. Hey. Na marriage zozo dana nyina bone. Hey. Yeah. It's zvikoro tambudza mana. Na ringo mara mara. Hey, ronote netanga matada manibona. Ngamande sava sadzi bomarunga vatu vonga zvavo zvikochimbira kana zvi upfiwo muna ono itantu ba obvera buchironi. Hey, ava sadzi vakotambula mana. Aish. Habeni vatadhuva nadhuva wana mtu kotoba netisa muyani ngoto vafoinero rivona.
I know why people are not going to the movie theaters anymore. I figured it out.
Why?
It's not the movies. It's the people. with the amount of activity going on in the movie theater, I don't know what you do when you go to a movie theater. I sit down. That's it. I sit down. Right. You don't even know I'm there. The talking, the phones, the this, the that. People are getting up. People are shifting around. We do not open the package of candy during a sentimental moment in the movie. This is Michael Jackson. You wait to open up your Twizzlers or whatever during the song where it's loud. So your crackling of the paper blends into the loudness of the theater. This guy was opening up his Twizzlers and looking for Twizzlers during a moment where Michael Jackson's father is talking to Michael Jackson about something very serious. It took me out of the moment, bro.
Do you think you're allowed to just basically, do a jig in the aisle until the trailers start running? I mean, I don't know. What do you think?
I think as soon as you enter the movie theater, your behavior has to adjust to as if the movie is on. Yeah, a couple whispers, you whisper. I should be able to hear your conversation 4 or 5 seats away. I'm at a light whisper pre-movie.
To me, we spoke about this in a prior video. People just don't have respect for others no more, right? People don't have respect for others. Like my parents were telling me, we went to the movies one day and this guy had like a breathing machine in the movie theater, like for one, I told them, why the heck are you sitting next to this guy? I believe they got up and moved, but the fact that this guy went to the movies, like with that, like not caring, like, damn, this is going to be annoying to other people. Like, I know you want to get out and do this, but to me, if it was me, I wouldn't go to a movie theater with that, right? Or I would sit somewhere very far. Like, I think he came up and sat next to them Like that, I wouldn't do. I would go sit at the front row where no one's sitting and then use my little breathing mask. But people just don't care anymore about other people's feelings and they just don't care no more. They just don't, right? Go to Walmart. People will sit there in the middle of the aisle and not care. Like I always, even my lady, I have to tell her like, hey, move your cart. Like I am so aware of other people around me and I care about other people around me. Now, if you're a jerk, if you're an ass, then I'm going to go out of my way to stay in there, right? If I'm making a right and you're going straight, I'm going to scoot over as much as I can. Or if I'm going straight and you're making a right, I'm going to scoot over as much as I can so you can go right. But if you're an ass, I'm going to get right in the middle. If you're riding my butt the whole time, I'm going to be a jerk too, right? You get what you give. But people just don't care about anyone around them anymore.
If you know, you know.
You're clones. You're copies of people out here in the world.
Our administration believes that there are loopholes that could allow the cloning of human beings.
Why? Some hag trophy wife needs new skin for a facelift, or one of them gets sick and they need a new part. They take it from you.
Kevin Hart's crash, that horrible accident that really when you see the photos, everyone is wondering how in the world they all survived.
I have a clone. It's about a good 3 of me.
3 of me. Kevin and the 2 other people were in the car with him.
You've seen people die from far lesser car accidents than that.
The DJs claim that Britney and her boyfriend had been killed in a car crash on a Los Angeles freeway. Within hours, the internet was buzzing with the tragic news. The Dallas radio station responsible, KEGL, has spent the day apologizing on air for the hoax.
In 2004, Britney Spears secretly went to work on some music. She wrote an album that she called Original Doll. There were songs where she was talking about feeling like a manufactured pop star. And then there was Mona Lisa.
She wants you to know she's been cloned.
A few years after that, she released a music video, and the video was about her being cloned.
The whole reason you exist is because everyone wants to live forever. It's the new American dream.
We need to talk about this person.
And there's people out there that are rich enough to pay anything for it.
Every Kardashian has a clone stored in Calabasas.
Am I a clone? How would I know if I was the clone or if I was the real one? I have a clone.
It's like me versus... Whoa, wait, don't give away too much, man. Yeah.
The real Kodak is locked up still. The real Kodak is in an island. It's on an island somewhere.
I know I'm a clone, bro. You're a clone.
I'm a third gen.
I have a clone for music. I have a clone for film. I have a clone for my personal life. I have a clone for my family life as well. So that's how it gets done.
I can say clone. I want to say clone. All right, so there's like a clone.
I think you have to. I think you have to. They kill you if you try to walk away. And they clone you.
Sir. I have never seen anything like this before.
Hold up.
Once again, clones here outside of J-Lo Parkside.
Ain't that you, Tyrone?
I mean, they do put the truth in movies, but it's just a theory, right?
If you put food out in the sun, it gets dehydrated. If I put food out in the full moonlight, it gets putrefied. It putrefies really fast.
Y'all, some of the stuff that this gentleman points out about the sun and the moon is absolutely mind-blowing. Take a listen.
So it rots. It's exactly opposite. And then you can also, at nighttime, when the moon is full, you can pull out a thermometer and put it out in the light of the moon, right? And let's say that, as an example, the thermometer reads 70 degrees in the full moonlight. If I put it in the shade of the moonlight, it actually gets warmer. And I pull it out, it gets colder again. So the moon's light is cold. It's not hot, so it's not reflecting the sun. It has nothing to do with the sun. That's what I mean by it's its own light. And that's a simple scientific experiment. Anybody can do it. Thermometer. I don't know if you've ever done it, but I've lived in the northern climates before, and a lot of times if I park my car under a tree, I'll come out to my windshield, to my car in the morning, and half of my windshield will be frozen and the other half won't be. It's happened many, many times, and I never really thought about it until a few years ago, and I put it all together. I'm like, wow. The reason it frosted over is because the full moon light hit that part of the windshield, and this part was underneath the tree in the shade.
So we're rotating around the Earth, the sun.
Exactly. I'm proposing to you that the sun and the moon are moving around us, just like it looks like. They are the same size, not 400 miles further, bigger, and 400 times further apart. It's very much the same. The sun, and as astrologically speaking, I think the moon has just as much of an impact as the sun on us. One is our conscious side, one's our unconscious side. One's gold, one's silver, one's hot, one's cold. From our perspective, the moon and the sun are the same size. From our perspective, but they tell us, science tries to tell us that we're going around the sun, and the moon's going around us. It looks like, and from our experience, it looks like the sun and the moon are different. They're the exact same size. They have power. We can feel their power. Like if you believe in astrology at all, like all of our ancestors have always believed it. They believe that the sun, the moon, and all the stars, each of the individual stars have their own power. They have their own potency that they're affecting us. So like if you're born on a particular day of the year, that's your sun sign, you're a Gemini. And then the exact day that you're born will know, okay, that's where the moon was in the sky. And then they can take a picture of the entire sky. They know exactly where all the planets were the moment you were born. And that's going to impact your entire life. All of our ancestors said the sun is masculine, the moon's feminine. I mean, we can just go on and on and on. And it makes sense. Like if you see the world like that, everything starts clicking. Like all these weird questions that we have from our perspective, from our society, are all basically they're all science questions. They're like, well, if we this and that, then and then you come up with all these weird questions. But if you just see the Earth as simple, that's how I see it. It's just very simple. Basically, what it boils down to is the sun is not the center of our galaxy. We are. The sun, the moon, all the planets are revolving around us. And not just us as a whole, but I like to tell people, like, your mom and dad told you the world doesn't revolve around you. And I like to tell them, yeah, it does, actually. It totally revolves around you. Whatever you think and believe is the world that you're going to have. Your thoughts, your perspective, the things you expect happen. You know, we live in a magical universe. If you put food out in the...
So to ask you a question real quick.
Yeah.
If there is no bottom to the ocean, like you said, explain a volcano to me. Explain how molten lava comes out of the bottom of the earth with enough pressure that it burns any and everything around it. And it came, obviously, from under the ground. Like it had to come from some point past the water.
Past the water.
Yeah, the mantle was up under the ocean. That's what I'm saying.
So
you saying that's, hold on, Zach.
Our earth is built on lava.
You saying the earth got an end to it?
Yes, it got lava in the inside of it.
Listen, the earth has layers to it, right? Yeah. So the core of the earth is the mantle, which is what he's speaking of. And inside the mantle is molten lava. Which is a fire element, because when lava cools, it creates land, which is the continents that we live on, right? Okay.
Like
and
how Hawaii, all them Hawaiian continents.
We know that there's an ocean, but we only know the surface. We know we can't reach the bottom. But for some reason, there has to be a way that a volcano exists, that molten lava is shooting out the bottom of the fucking earth. I promise you it didn't start in the ocean.
So you think it's coming from the core of the earth?
Without a doubt. Yeah. Which is the layer underneath the ocean. It has to
have
like there's no way.
It has to start. There is a bottom of the ocean.
You know how deep the Mariana Trench
is? Yes, it is.
I do. And guess what?
What you mean?
The earth goes deeper.
Like the end of something, like we have North Pole, South Pole. It's called the mantle. It's called
the lava. Just answer this question for me.
The mantle with the lava in it. That's the bottom of the earth.
Water.
That's the bottom of the water.
Because when lava hits water, it cools and it creates rock, which is the land. We live on land. Like that is lava and water cooling over the course of however many years it took to do so. Like look at this. This shit right here is real. You can't tell me this is real.
Trigger warning PSA. I want to make this video because this happened to me, and I've seen 2 other TikToks of 2 girls this happened to. So last night, every night I usually watch YouTube videos before I go to sleep. I listen to like the healing frequencies, or I'll listen to like sound baths or something like that before I go to sleep. So I was laying there watching my YouTube video, and I had actually dozed off, and I twitched and woke myself up. I was halfway awake, and I was like, oh, I need to probably go to sleep. So I was like, I need to turn it off and then go put my phone on charge. My phone was laying next to my head. I'm laying down, right? So I'm laying there for like a few more minutes, and all of a sudden the video is still playing, and I can hear, it's like someone took over my, I suddenly heard a microphone, like someone hacked into my phone. And I hear like typing, like clicking and poking, like someone's like typing, and I hear breathing, and I hear a man. And I'm looking at my phone and I'm watching it, and like the green light that shows that your camera's being used is on. I was on YouTube, mind you. The video's still playing. It's not an advertisement. And this man, who I'm assuming was not English, said 2 words. Like he said like something, and then he said something else. And I immediately, the hair stands up on the back of my neck. I'm terrified, and I think back to the girl who was saying that the same thing happened to her. She was watching YouTube, except she could see the man. Like the man was on her screen and she could see him. And then this morning, my friend sent me a video after I told them what happened she found the video, and another woman said that happened to her. She was watching YouTube as well. So I couldn't see this person. I don't know if it was because my phone was lit up and I was actually like on, you know, in the YouTube app on the screen. The other two women said that their phones were dim, like their screens were locked, so like they could see the man. And the woman was saying like, you know, people are hacking into your cameras to like watch you sleep and to like get you to enter your password so they can hack into your account. Well, the video I just watched, this woman's like, he had full access of her phone, like she was watching him as he was doing this. And so I'm sitting there watching this happen and nothing else. Like I immediately like sat there, paused the video, like was looking, like I didn't touch it. I was like sitting away from my phone, look at it, and I'm watching it, like seeing if anything changed. He was not like getting out of the app, obviously, because that would like, you know, alert me that something else was going on. I like pause the video, I start the video again, and I'm making sure like it wasn't an advertisement, it was nothing. So PSA, that is true and that is happening. Get camera covers, be wary at night. Like this has happened to women at night. This was happening to me at night. This happened at like 10 o'clock at night. And it is very real. People were saying, like I was like Googling and like researching, and people were saying like it's very hard, it's very rare, it's very hard to happen. Like it's not likely that will happen because of ISO and like iPhone security, but I'm telling you, it did happen to me. So PSA, terrifying. Oh my gosh. If anyone has tips and tricks and stuff and like additional security parameters that you know that you can set up on an iPhone, please let me know. But ladies, get a camera cover for your iPhone at night. Be wary and be mindful.
Hi people. So have you seen that young man, like a preteen boy from Venezuela? He actually predicted the 2 earthquakes in Venezuela. He actually, excuse me, he actually said where the earthquakes would happen. And it did. It actually did. But then he came back. And do you know what he said? There will be a 8.8 earthquake in California. And then all crap will gonna happen in New York, Hawaii, and do you know where? São Paulo, Brazil. São Paulo, Brazil. The boy, he's either crazy, he's going crazy, or maybe the Holy Spirit is speaking with him. I don't know. Let's wait and see. Because if there is a 8.8 earthquake in California, it's going to be all gone. It's going to be all gone. And if there is a 8.8 earthquake in California, the caldera below Yellowstone will be affected enough to explode. Holy crap. What's going to happen? Do you know what's going to happen? Half of the U.S. will disappear. So, the boy's name is very interesting. Is Jesus Lopez. I want to see if this boy is being guided by the Holy Spirit, if he's crazy, going crazy, or something else. Let me know what you think.
What a video today, y'all. I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope you guys are enjoying this new way of doing the videos. Like, I feel like it runs so much smoother. The old way I was doing it, like when I would switch over to talk, I would miss like 2 seconds of the next clip. You know what I mean? So sometimes you wouldn't even know what they're talking about. You know, there's times people get annoyed by me, you know, drinking or breathing or, you know, picking my nose or biting my lip. Like I'm sitting here for an hour and 10 minutes with you guys. Like I can't just sit here and just not move. I don't know how people do that, right? I move and, you know, I look out my window if I see movement. Like I cut all that out doing it like this. And I just feel like it's so much smoother and it's so much easier to react and just not like ramble on about nonsense like I do when I'm doing this, like not live with you, but kind of doing it live with you. So I hope you guys enjoy this way of doing the videos. I know I do. It's a lot more cleaner, I feel, a lot more professional. It's a lot more better, I feel like. So I hope you guys enjoyed. Like it, leave a like, comment, subscribe, y'all. I'm doing a reaction, like I said, on my second channel. I'm about to get going on that right now. All the Mandela effect. The Mandela effect is coming back to light, y'all. A lot of things are coming back. You know, the Chick-fil-A thing, the Willy Wonka, a lot of that is starting to be like, we were right this whole time. Coincidence? I don't know, y'all. But we're going to get into that over there. So make sure you guys go to my second channel. It's down below, Segovia After Dark. This is Segovia. I'm signing out of the Man Cave. I'm going to see you guys on the next one. Later.